What's up, Vic? What's up, Preacher Man? What's up, Bruce? I am sanding the bottom of this hood. I'm sanding. What's up, Bill? I'm sanding the bottom of this hood, getting it ready for epoxy. While it's raining. Let me show you. Well, sanding the bottom of this. What's up, Bill? What's up, Ray? What's up? So I'm sanding the bottom of this hood. I've ordered a new fiberglass. So two things has happened. I ordered a new fiberglass pad. And the reason why I ordered the pad is because I'm going to use the pad as a template and trace it over on 18 gauge aluminum. And I'm going to cut a piece of aluminum out. And then I'm going to bead roll it and probably paint a mural on it, and then attach it back. I'm gonna put nut inserts in these little pieces right here so I can put fasteners in it. So that's what I'm doing. I got the rest of the truck in epoxy. I painted the radiator support. I got white epoxy. It's supposed to be coming tomorrow. So I'm gonna try to get all this sanded so I can paint this in epoxy and then go ahead and seal it, color it, and clear it. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the bottom of the hood and be done with it. So that's what I'm doing. So that's what I'm doing. I need some money. So that's what I'm doing. So I figured I'd jump on here, tap in, see what everybody's doing. This is 180. It's 180 paper. This is what everybody loves to do right here. This is what everybody loves to do right here. Sand. So I figured I'd jump on here and get a little bit of content. See what everybody's doing today. It's been raining, thunder and lightning all day. Typically, I would just have this media blasted and have it stripped, but the guy can't come because it's raining. I don't want to wait. This is single stage that's on here now. In a perfect world, you want to strip all this off, but In a perfect world, yeah. Motherfucker, something right there. Yeah, I figured it was raining over there too, Bill. Um, like I say, in a perfect world, I would just had this media blasted all the way to bare bones, epoxy it, strip it, epoxy it, paint it, clear it, done. But my media blaster said he couldn't get out here this week because it's the 4th. So go old school, just sand it by hand where I gotta sand it by hand. Somebody's gonna say, you gonna take all this off? No, it's a good foundation. I mean, it's old paint, single stage paint. So as long as I scratch it real good and it's not flaking off, it'll be okay. Somebody says, do it on a budget. Well, you think about it. My media blaster charges $300 an hour, minimum 1 hour. So if he blasted the bottom of this hood, it would be bare metal in about 30 minutes. So that's 150 bucks. Well, he charges $300 a minimum. So that means I'm gonna have to find something else for him to blast. All right. So let's say $300 for him to blast it, and then I epoxy it, and then I base it, and then I clear it, and I'm done. There's no body work to be done. I mean, it's not rusted out. Everything's good. So if I sand on this thing for 3 hours, that's $300. Then I epoxy, paint it, prime it, and be done with it. The media blaster is good, but it's still the same. It's good and efficient for time-wise. Like, you know, if he done this thing in 30 minutes, it's still $300. I epoxy and prime it, it's still 300 bucks. So, plus, this is my boy's hood, and he's on a budget. So I took the day off. Working on his stuff. Probably take tomorrow off too. Might take Friday off too. I might just work on his stuff all week. Be done with it. But once I epoxy it, I'm gonna base it, clear it, because I'm not gonna epoxy it, let it dry, then sand it again, and then paint it. I'm not. It ain't, what's Bill say? It ain't that type of party. Because the hood's in good shape. I mean, it's in real good shape. I mean, there's no rust in it. I mean, there's a little surface rust right here where the fiberglass was wet, you know. And then these little balls right here for the, I might take the little angle grinder with a roll lock on it and cut all that stuff down. But then I got to get this RTV off that had the rubber seal. I got to get it off. But yeah. So it's okay. So like I said, I figured I'd jump on here, give a little bit of content, stay relevant, stay in the daggone algorithm. Because next week, I'll be back at it full tilt. Building frames, building the seat brackets for that, working on the 68 C10, trying to find out where the concrete guy's at so they come finish my concrete so I can pull the engine, transmission out of the Impala. A lot of moving parts, man. A lot of moving parts. You see, that's the beauty of self-employment. You can take off when you want. You're not worried about losing your job. What's up, Scoot? Hold on a second. What happened? Oh, by text, Ray. I hope you change. Ray, you will be considered as a contractor, so your taxes will be also a contractor's tax on top of your normal tax. I don't know what are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? Contractor's price tax and what are y'all talking about? Did I miss something? And I'm not going to scroll back because look at my hands. What's up, Scoot? Ray put in his 2-week notice. Had a phone call. So I know Ray put in his 2-week notice. Ray's changing jobs. I know that he is. Yeah, I understand that, but where is the contractors? Where does the contractor come involved? Oh, well that's not contractor. He said he would have a 1099 tax because he would be considered. $10.99 at the end of the year. Yep, because he would be. I can see where that. Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole. He's self-employed. It don't have nothing to do with contractor. He's self-employed because they're 1099 in him. Him working with his buddy, he worked with on weekends doing it full time now. Yeah. My wife explained it, but I can't explain it. Oh, I know exactly what it means. I mean, I like. It's 1099, so he's not an employee. He's self-contracted, meaning he's self-employed. A lot of places around here do that, and they have people that are self-contracted out, like meaning you're contracting yourself out for work, like 1099. It's just a 1099. Yeah, subcontractor. Because you're not on the payroll, so you're subbing work out to somebody else, and they label you as a contractor, but you're still self-employed. What's up, Carolina Big? So Ray, got you. So Ray, this is what I would do. Well, it's 33%. 35% is a good number, right? So let's look. So yeah, I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna go down that rabbit hole. It's 35%. So Ray, what you need to do is you need to go and open up an account, like an escrow account, where you can't touch it, and you need to set it up, and it's 35%. So for every dollar you make, it's 35%. So every dollar you make is 35 cents. And you put that money in your escrow account. And then that escrow account is set to the side. And that escrow account, and you need to do it quarterly. You need to do it every 3 months. And you need to pay your taxes and your Social Security every 3 months out of that account. And then at the end of the year, if there's anything left over in that account, you don't spend it, you leave it. And you just let it build. That's why it's called an escrow account. And set up an escrow account, and whatever your check is, if your check is $100, then you need to go to the bank and put $35 out of your check into that account. And then you keep 65. So. Yeah. It's 40%. And then see, if you're going to be a self-contractor, what's up, Mike? If you're going to be a self-contractor, then what you need to do, if that's what you're going to end up doing, Ray, you need to go and open up a DBA. You could do an LLC. I would highly suggest doing an LLC, but you can do a DBA, and that's do business alone. And then you could call it Ray's Consulting Service or whatever, right? Ray's Consulting Service or whatever. And then what you could do then, if you go do that, if you go open up a DBA, right? If you go open up a DBA, do business alone, and then open up an account with that and have them have your buddy write the check out to Ray's Consulting Service, right? Then you're not getting paid. The company's getting paid, right? So the company's getting paid, and then the tax bracket is completely different. Then out of that, you get paid out of the Ray's Consulting Service. You get a salary check out of that. So let's say that you started a DBA or LLC, right? And that DBA and that LLC, your buddy hired them, subcontractor. He pays them, right? And then let's say he pays them, and then that company pays you, that DBA, Ray's Consulting Services, pays you. Let's say they pay you $300 a week salary. So now the tax bracket is completely different because you're employed by Ray's Consulting Service, but Ray's Consulting Service is subcontracted out from this metal fabricating company as a subcontractor, and they're going to 1099 the company to pay taxes, but you are an employee of the DBA, so you get a check off of that, and then you pay your taxes on that, and the tax bracket is a little different on that end. And then you give it to a good accountant, and then that accountant takes care of the services, and they take care of your taxes. So the company, yeah, you just need to find a good Remember, if you do a LLC, it could save you in the future, maybe. I would do a LLC. Have yeah. I I would do a LLC. I'm a LLC. JG Innovation Garage is a LLC. Yeah. That's the whole purpose of LLC. Now you don't need to go incorporated or what is it, C business or something like that, because that's where you got outside investors and all that stuff. But an LLC, that's a limited liability corporation. So, and that's what. But you got to have a good accountant. See, and by doing that, see, everybody that does business here, they don't do business with me. See, that's the confusion part. Here's the thing. So if you bring your vehicle here to work, you have an agreement with JG Innovation Garage, a contract. You have a contract with JG Innovation Garage. You don't have a contract with me personally. You have a contract with the business, not with me. But see, that's where I go back and I tell people they blur the lines between personal and business, right? They bludge the line. Well, you're one and the same. Well, Jeff Bezos owns Amazon, but Jeff Bezos not Amazon, right? Jeff Bezos don't own anything. Elon Musk don't own anything. Donald Trump don't own anything. You see what I'm saying? Amazon don't own nothing. Microsoft, they don't own nothing. I mean, Amazon has warehouses out in Texas that are like 200,000 square foot warehouses that are up and running and they're empty. But they were like, oh, look at all the money that Jeff Bezos is spending. He's not spending no money. His company's spending money. The company. See, they didn't teach you that in school. They didn't teach that in school. That's how the rich stay rich. That's how they stay protected. Because the laws and peasants, we work and we're like, ah, shit, we ain't got nothing. It's because when everybody says the top 1% makes all this money, well, yeah, but the top 1% don't own anything. It's all owned in corporations and LLCs and shell companies and all that. I mean, that's why they're rich, because they were taught different. You know, so I'm thankful. A few years ago, some years ago, I did some business with a guy, and he says, I'm not going to do business with you until you LLC. You need to be an LLC to separate personal from business. Personal assets versus business assets. And he explained to me a lot, the difference. So I suggest everybody get highly educated on that to figure out. All separated in first years, I didn't know. How did that sense? Yeah, that's right. Here's something else I shared with some other people. When your kids start high school, open up an LLC, and then every week put $50 in that LLC, and then by the time they get out of high school, your child has already established a LLC for 4 years. It already has income in it, $50 a week for the last 48 months, or $50 a week for the last 4 years. You have that money in there. They already have the LLC on paper. And then during that time, open up a market line on it and buy household goods like toilet paper, washing powders, and stuff like that. And then you establish, man, we could go down that rabbit hole, man. I'm giving out too much free game. like I said, I'm sanding this hood. I'm sanding it with 180. I'm gonna get all this sanded because my epoxy is supposed to be here tomorrow. So if I get all this sanded and get it prepped, get it in the booth, and then when the white epoxy gets here, go ahead and epoxy it and paint it. Go and paint it and clear it. And then let it set for a few days, and then flip it over, back tape it, and then water sand the hood, water sand the top, epoxy the top in white epoxy, lay out the stripes, paint the stripes, then tape the stripes up, paint the blue, untape everything, and then clear it. And then the hood will be done. Then I can set the hood back on the truck to see what it looks like. I know it's a little bass acrid, but that's what I'm planning on doing, so we can kind of see what it looks like. So. Anybody got anything, questions? That epoxy is just, well, it's dry, but it ain't dry to sand. That's why I had them fans on to blow air across that epoxy. It's raining today, but once that epoxy gets good and dry, I'm gonna knock it down with 180, and then go from there. I didn't take the door handles off, and somebody's gonna probably say, "Why you didn't do that?" I said, "Because he's got new door handles, and I didn't feel like taking the door handles off because them clips are a pain in the butt." And I'm not ready to do that because after the peach, I just want to get this thing all in one color primer, and then after the Peach Festival, we'll pull the doors off so I can paint the back side of the doors and pull the latches and the windows. And he's got all new rubbers, got new window regulators, got new glass. He's got all that stuff. So let me show you about the 30-minute mark. No, I've never used that. Like I said, I got the epoxy on. I took the bumper off. So there's the grill. I'm gonna paint these pieces here. These pieces are good. So I'm gonna sand these. I'm gonna paint these white. I'm not even gonna fool with the grill. But I am gonna put the grill back in. For the time being, I'm not going to put the new grill in or the new bumper at this time. But I did paint the back side of the core support. Most of the time they're painted body color, but the blue that's going on this thing is super bright. So I didn't want it to be blaring through the grill. But like I said, after the Peach Festival, we're going to take the doors off, take the fenders off, and then I'm going to paint the engine bay too. This will be body color. This will be body color. All that'll be body color. So it's a lot. So yeah, I got that done. And like I said, I got that side epoxied. I'm gonna do the bottom of this hood. Like I said, let's see, brother, you running circles around. What's up, cowboy? And do that. Like I said, I got to sand all this, get all this done. I'm going to take my little cut off my little side grinder with my my little roll lock, and I'm going to cut all these nipples off. I ordered the insulation that fits this, and the only reason why I ordered it is for a template. And I'm going to take that piece of fiberglass matting, put it on a piece of 18 gauge aluminum, trace it out, cut it out, drill all the holes, and then all these little holes right here, I'm gonna put nut inserts. I'm gonna put nut inserts in every one of these holes. So when I go to put the aluminum panel up there, I can put button head tamp screw fittings and screw it in there. That's the plan on that. So yeah. Well, I appreciate everybody tapping in. Stay tuned. I'll do some shorts. I don't know if I'll go live again today. It's about 30 minutes. And like I said, I got to turn these fans back on, get some airflow going. And I appreciate every single one of you boys and girls. I'll shoot you a text, Carolina Big. I appreciate every single one of you. Remember I said, boys and girls, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Remember I said, don't worry about the man up the road or down the road. Sweep off your own front porch, sweep it off anybody else's. Put God first, that loose and drag. Peace.